He's not very stealthy. What are you doing out here? You never have gone out in the garage. What are you doing? There's a reason why I've been putting this off. And I've been upfront about it. This is not the final look of it. And I didn't really want to share or show or go in depth on all this stuff when it looks like crap. So I've been waiting until I finished it. And now that I went and got some shelves, more shelves that more than just this one. Well, I also need to get some stain, so they're a little bit different and not straight out the box IKEA. And I need to attach it to the wall, and I need to reattach the lights in them. So there isn't a big blank spot on top of whatever else might come up. And then I have to make it all look pretty. All the copious amounts of landfill, I don't want it to just look too terrible. Yeah, I know that's subjective, but when I'm looking at it every day, I don't care how subjective it is. It's subjectively, I don't like looking at it. I don't like looking at it as it's a mess. Also, I can't even fit all the stuff that I want. Moving on with the project, I need to clear everything off if I'm to dismantle and, man, I've been putting this off for a reason. Not a good reason, just I'm lazy and it's gonna be some effort. It does seem like a 1 step forward, 2 steps back kind of situation, pulling everything out after already putting it all up, after waiting to put everything out because I didn't have enough space. Am I speaking loud enough? Can you actually hear me when I'm facing the other direction? Or at all? This wasn't even the right bin. I just wanted to make it look like a continuous shot, but I don't even know what it'll go in. Something, I can put something in here. Yeah, I could have spent so much more time redoing all this so it looks better than what it actually looks like, but I knew this was going to be, this was going to happen eventually. I'm pretty sure I even said it was going to happen. Cut to me saying it was going to happen if I'm not too lazy enough to find it. I'm definitely wanting to stain it and sand it down. If I did find it, I'm so happy that I've been labeling and keeping all the footage, and if I didn't find it, I might just cut all this out, or shoot, I might just keep it in for padding. What difference does it make? I need the watch time if I want to get monetized, if I want to make a single cent off of this. So many hours. So many hours. My thought was just to take stuff off the shelf and put it away, and as I'm putting away, I can cover some of it, like PDQ Chicken wearing a Stonehenge neck pillow. You want to see this, right? This is what you've been asking for? The dozens of comments talking about shelf. This is what you... A brief side note that I wanted to mention. I was thinking about maybe trying it with this one where I extend out and give my vlogs just a little bit more breathing room. I filmed quite a bit yesterday. I had 20-30 minutes of footage, but the video only being 3 minutes long, I didn't have a lot to say. I know that. If I wanted them to be longer, I should say more. That's not always easy, but not the point. Maybe I should just have a little bit more dead air, and I tried that yesterday just to have just a little bit more to go along, but I don't want to do it too much because it can get really boring really fast. This is my relatively limited Godzilla and Dragon Ball shelf. Why a whole shelf is dedicated to these two things? It shouldn't be at all. Most of the Godzilla stuff was picked up in Japan, and my kind of rule is I only want to really get it if I can build it, because if it's just some simple toy, then there's not a whole lot of reason to get it if I'm just gonna buy it and put it on a shelf and never do anything with it for the rest of its life. My life? Whatever. There were some exceptions. Snow Globe. But it's the same style as the hotel I stayed in. I couldn't not. These guys. I only got one. Just as a fun little thing. Just like one little dude. One little goober. It'd just be fun. But it was really neat. And the things there were not that expensive. So I got a whole sealed box. I haven't opened it yet because I planned on opening it when this channel was mostly just card and or toy unboxing, but I haven't really done that in a long time, in all fairness to someone, not me. I don't know. I would like to do little model displays for them, like on a, I don't know, like 3x3 inch base or something, and have a little city or a little forest or whatever the terrain that they would most appropriately fit in. I don't have the modeling skills to do that, but that's something I'd like to try. One of the, really, this is gonna be a reoccurring theme. A lot of this stuff, I convinced myself under the pretense that I was going to do something with it, whether it be modify it or paint it or add, I don't think I've done it for any of it, but I would like to add that to the to-do list. A lot of the Dragon Ball stuff is a lot different to the Godzilla stuff, where most of it I got relatively recently and told myself that I was gonna do something with it. Most of the Dragon Ball stuff I've had for quite a long time. Way too long. I want to do the same things. I would love to paint the Dragon Ball figures in a cell style painting, kind of like the show or comic or something. I think I can figure that out. I just need the paint. And the doing. I need the doing to do it. Only a select few of these things I actually got recently, and that was these two little bobbers, which were literally pennies from Japan, and then this bobber, which was not much more, also from Japan, but it's cool. It's some sort of game. I don't know if I'm gonna open it, but it's cool. It has a little Cyberman. I like those guys. How much was this? Couldn't have been that much. I got it from one of their like used toy thrift stores. I was about to say Star Wars is far and away mostly just stuff that I've had for a really long time. But at this point, it's kind of an equal amount of things that I've had for quite a long time and relatively new things, like all the Advent Calendar droids, or this popcorn bucket. Black Series, I mean, if you've watched any of the videos, you should know those are all really, really new. Most of them are under the shelf, and all of them are unopened, but I fully plan on opening them as soon as I get a few more. I only need a few more, or need one. I only want a few more. This one's kind of fun. It's the old Star Wars droid factory that they used to have in the Disney parks before they got rid of it and replaced it with generic sleeved packaging where you can't build your own. It was a whole custom thing where you could buy and select and choose, kind of like build a minifigure at Lego stores. You could pick whatever parts you wanted and put them together. It was for Astromechs as well, and instead of having, say, one pre-made, you could pick out the accessories. Now it's limited release where they have one for seasonal options and Pride Month. Those don't sell very well. Christmas and Halloween ones sell just a little bit better. Not an action figure, but this card was from my dad. I don't know how he ended up with the card. I don't think he ever even had trading cards, but it's neat. And how weathered it is and damaged it is, I think it makes it way more interesting than if it were to be perfectly pristine. I don't think I'd care about it nearly as much. Probably. Or maybe I'm just coping. No, I'm not. This hung from my dad's car dash, although he was always more of a Star Trek guy, so that doesn't really make any sense to me. And this was apparently some sort of San Diego Comic-Con thing, I guess. I got it at Star Wars Weekends in 2000. If you're not familiar, Disney and other places around the world do buckets for popcorn. Some of them are weirdly shaped, like this is where the popcorn goes. It's neat. Was it worth the price? No, absolutely not. Never. Absolutely not. However, I did have a Stormtrooper that came with this little toy series where they're just random miniature characters that my parents got my brother and I. They're real small. For just funsies one time, because they probably found them on sale at Kroger or something, and just as a fun little thing. They're not even that old. I had one of these guys that was in scale with this, and it was a Stormtrooper. Josh from Josh Build Stuff saw it. He likes Stormtroopers. I said he could have it despite only having one, despite it being in scale with my popcorn bucket. And he doesn't seem that grateful. He's not once called me for a week straight thanking me for a thing that's cost probably less than a penny on eBay. Not once. I think this is my first toy lightsaber. It still has bite marks from my dog when she would get really upset and go and bite them. Not the greatest Star Wars movie, I will give you, but it was fun to go with my parents and my brother, and then we got to keep some stuff from it. That makes it worth watching. And probably just that. I recently talked about these. That's a pretty exciting, long journey for this thing. Mouse popcorn bucket. Yeah, this is the one that took suicided itself. Simon Says. Blue milk jug. Is there something in here? Oh yeah, just blue milk. I probably should have thrown that away. And the only Funko Pops I own, I have resisted the urge for years not to buy Funko Pops because I know myself. I know that I like collecting and completing things. And if I can't do that, I don't enjoy it nearly as much. It's some weird part of my brain that really should be turned off, but man, the second I see a whole set that I can go after, it's game over. Game over. Until I don't think about it for a day or two, and then I don't have that urge nearly as much. Despite Claire's best efforts of buying every single one of these, bar one exception, I have refused to go buy more. We keep getting them. This one's got a few days ago, but I don't have that many, and I have stayed only to the realm of Yoda. Just Yoda. It seems a bit much when I have a lot of Lego Yoda stuff, but I've stuck to it despite those Bad Batch pops. Oh man. Funko Pops are ugly. There's not a lot of Bad Batch stuff, and the last thing I need is more landfill that's just gonna be thrown away when I die. But it is a challenge not to buy them. Oh, no, it's not. What am I kidding? I don't have money to buy things. Miscellaneous Yoda stuff, and that takes me into my droid. Stuff is sitting down here, mainly in case I need to pull it up to get more footage of it. I've already recorded a good bit of it for B-roll, mostly for the droid video that I don't even know if I'm going to end up using, to be honest. And I don't want to get rid of it, put it too far away because it's a hassle to walk back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I have to put this somewhere, though, so I guess the back and forth is happening no matter what. Oh well. Oh yeah, there's that last Yoda Funko. This is probably the worst box I could have used to move all of this. It's definitely the worst box I could have used to move all of this with one hand. I have hard passed trying to buy stuff from Pokemon, but man, despite years of not buying anything, Japan really did me and just got caught up in the excitement of all of the garbage that I grew up with just being sold to me at almost reasonable prices. This dude has a bit of an interesting story. I got this, oh man, I don't even know how long ago, at a flea market, and I only recently found out that I believe this was a KFC. I got it in Florida here, and I took it back with me to Ohio where it lived and remained for most of its time. Then, when I went to the UK a few years ago, I accidentally stumbled upon the World Championship that was in London. I had no idea. I just saw people had bags and I followed those bags onto a train to a convention center and then into a store. And this is where I got this guy, his evolution. So he's from the UK. This is from Florida, from Ohio back to Florida. And then this I got while we were in Japan, the third evolution. So all across the world, they came together to make the trio. That's the only reason I got these two, is because I've had this one for so long. Otherwise, I would never. I don't like stuffed animals. I don't care for plushies. Even using the word plushie is, I hate it. And I most certainly don't like announcing that this is the newest Pokemon thing that I have bought to date, and I think you can follow the breadcrumbs I've laid so far as to why I got this. If you need a hint, it's a model kit. If you need another hint, I suck. I'm probably the least satisfied with my Lego Yoda area, only because I can't fit so much of it because of how the shelves are laid out. And I have so many more just retail sets that are about Yoda or have Yoda, nowhere near this area. It's all put away deep back in the closet. Right there, so far away. It's annoying having so much of it hidden, but there's just so much that I have, which I'm grateful for. But it's not nice having it put away, and that's kind of how I feel about a lot of this stuff. I, like you, or at least I'd imagine like you, like having stuff. I like stuff a little too much. That probably applies to almost every human ever. Having it boxed up, bagged up, put away in storage, I'm not a fan of. So things like all of our unbuilt Lego, it bothers me a little bit where it's not out and about, not being fully appreciated, just sitting there sealed away. And I am so happy that I have it and I can reach in and grab it and rebuild it and re-experience it, but that means I probably have to take something else off the shelf and break it down and put it away, and there's just no way to have it all out unless your entire house is. I am a very sentimental person. It is hard for me to detach from my things, and I have, for better or worse, a pretty darn good long-term memory, and I know when I had these things or when I received them or from who or why or what. It's bad. Like I was struggling to throw away a box of super stale gum cigarettes that I used for a video, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, but it just survived this long, and because I've had it this long, so I might as well keep it. No, it's in the garbage for now. It's hard for me to get rid of things. It's also, it's another layer when your spouse, your living roommate, also likes those things and is as unwilling and incapable of getting rid of things. Yeah, it obviously it piles up. I want to get better at being able to let go of things, and I am very, very, very hard considering letting go of a few things real soon, and especially some of the things that I still have in California or in Ohio that I just have because I've had it, and I'm only keeping it for the sake of ownership, which seems a little silly. It's silly, right? Yeah, it's silly, right? Probably why not having all the Yoda stuff out in particular bothers me so much, because I've put so much emphasis on trying to get as much as I can within reason, and not having it all out, not having it together, not having it viewable, or even in a proper setting. This stuff gets real dusty real fast. That's something I need to work on, but that's enough, I don't know, monologuing for the day. Back to getting the rest of this off of my shelves to put on the floor to force myself to I want to say my Age of Mythology stuff, you should already know, but given the complete disinterest of Age of Mythology on this channel, probably not. This baby elephant piano, which I got to try to make music with for videos, and I did use it at least in one video, but learning how to play not only an instrument, let alone a piano, but learning how to play a piano on a babied version where it's a much different layout by yourself without any help, just for the sake of a few video gags, yeah, I didn't end up learning. I tried, you can see I tried, but model kits, I'm pretty sure they're rather old. Claire picked this one, I got this one. Comes with so many little dudes. Know nothing about these, they're probably gonna be really difficult to put together. And a Pez dispenser monorail holder that I got in one of my more, one of the vlogs that I really liked making, one of my more enjoyable ones, if I do say so myself. And that's all the crap off of my shelf. Now I can properly clean it up and stain it or seal it. I really need to make a decision on that. Put it back together, add the new shelves, reattach the lights properly, fully, and get it to the wall, and it should be, well, no, then I'll have literally days of organizing, rearranging the things on the shelf. I quite enjoy that nonsense. I don't know what it is about it, but it probably ties into, like, if I have the things, I want it to be presented nice. I want to see it and think that thought went behind that. But no, I don't. What am I saying? That's nonsense. I don't think that. I just like it looking neat. Subjectively.